From claims it's an Illuminati conspiracy to people saying he's guilty. The DDG and Halle situation is wild. Some are saying Halle's part of a cult.
I think Halle's part of the Illuminati.
But one thing's clear, this story is crazier than anyone realized. The accusations against DDG are disgusting, but is he really the villain, or could it be the other way around?
I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle.
I've done some digging into both of them, and what I found might shock you. DDG's being accused of Halle filed a restraining order, and now he might lose access to his own son forever.
Do the same face.
Some say he's a deadbeat, others say he's being set up. But one thing's clear, this isn't just drama, it's war. From the outside, they seem like a perfect couple. But behind closed doors, Halle Bailey says the relationship was much darker than anyone thinks. On May 13, a judge sealed the deal. He granted Halle a restraining order against Daryl, aka DDG. According to her, he's violent, aggressive, and a danger to her and their baby boy. As you guessed though, there's way more to the story. But before we dive into the Illuminati conspiracy, the album sabotage, and Halle trying to ruin his career, let's see what she's actually accusing him of. When she was in the courtroom on Tuesday, here's what she told the judge. Throughout our relationship, Daryl has been and continues to be physically, verbally, emotionally, and financially abusive towards me. I am seeking orders to protect myself and our son, Halo, from his ongoing abuse. So although it's still an ongoing case, DDG can't come within 100 yards of Halle or their son until June 6, the next court date. And if it's true, that's a good thing. But is it? That's what everyone wants to know. And also, how did their loving relationship turn into this? Well, Halle might not be as innocent as everyone thinks. Just months ago, they were in love and raising their son.
Oh, his walker. Should we bring the walker? No.
Now, they're like two angry tigers at each other's throats. Their relationship started in 2022, and after months of rumors, they became official in March that year. Then in August, they were talking about being in love.
Nobody that's like really motivated me like she did. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that.
It wasn't long before DDG was even calling her his wife.
Let you feel protective because that's your wife.
Yeah. For sure.
People were acting like it was some kind of Disney romance. But after a year of all the romantic stuff, cracks started showing. DDG's song Famous, he spoke about how dating such a famous person made him feel insecure. Halle was still solid. A few months after that, she said, "You know, you have a puppy love experiences, you think that's love. But this is my first deep, real love." You would think they were a match made in heaven. And not long after, they had their son Halo. But that's when things went downhill fast. Halo was born in January 2024, but by October, DDG and Halle were not looking too good. He posted that on his story, saying that they were still best friends and adored each other, but they were going their separate ways. It sounded like a simple, mutually agreed breakup, but behind the scenes, these two were starting to hate each other. The hate began when Halle started accusing DDG of using their baby to clout chase.
Halo himself, live in the flesh. It's a pleasure to meet you, Halo.
DDG even admitted to using Halo to clip farm.
Just like everybody else. But he do be clip farming sometimes.
Understandably, Halle was upset, but DDG kept bringing Halo on Twitch streams, and she started to think it was a safety concern, so she intervened. And then in January 2025, the two of them were trying their best to be co-parents, but because they were separated, it just didn't work. Halle says every time DDG saw her, he would be rude and abusive, like the time when she tried to strap Halo into his car seat and called her a... After that, the physical assault allegations and the fights began. It was around that time she claimed he chipped her tooth by slamming her into the steering wheel. But then it got even worse. In March, Halle accused DDG of randomly showing up at her house and accusing her of sleeping with other men. It looks bad since people think he's now breaking and entering her apartment. But when you see the whole text, it paints an entirely different picture. One where Halle is actually the villain, not DDG. In his eyes, he just wants to see his son, because underneath all this drama, DDG keeps saying the same thing. He's not fighting Halle, he's fighting to be a dad, because at that point, he was only allowed to see his son for 48 hours. So in March, he made a desperate attempt to get help from his viewers. DDG said, "I don't like putting y'all in my business, but I don't know what else to do. But I know the internet moves people." It was a cry for help. After that, he said, "Just want to see my son, that's it. I love being a dad, and I want to be a dad plain and simple." DDG even claimed he was being bullied.
Honestly, getting bullied, you know?
But it backfired. Halle used it against him in her court documents. She claimed that he was using his audience to attack her and endanger their son. She said, "Whenever he wishes to cause upset, he starts bad-mouthing me to his several millions of fans. He claims I am withholding our son and that I am with other men. As a result, I then receive threats and hate on social media." And this worked because the judge agreed with her. And now the world sees DDG as the bad guy. It will all be decided on June 6th. But until then, DDG is faced with the task of trying to convince people that he's not a monster. Luckily, he's not alone because many people have jumped to his defense and a whole other story is emerging. One that makes Halle look like the villain. If DDG really was a bad guy, he probably wouldn't have this huge wave of support. Zayas defended him, so did Your Rage, and of course, thousands of fans. DJ Ghost found the chipped tooth story hilarious.
And you can see her chipped tooth here. Halle says she was...
My nigga slammed her face on the steering wheel, and the whole steering wheel only hit that little small part of the tooth.
That's not all. Then there are the text messages that look photoshopped. Halle shared a screenshot from text where DDG allegedly threatened her about her relationship with Brent Faiyaz. But a fan noticed that in the top corner it said sent tomorrow at 2017. They even did an AI analysis which said that it was impossible. We also found out that the text was sent while he was live on stream. After that, academics dropped a bomb on her story. He finds it suspicious that Halle waited 2 months after he assaulted her to come out about it, conveniently after his career took off.
You have upgraded yourself and bossed up. You one of the hottest streamers out here. She ain't like that shit.
But I've only scratched the surface of the DDG defense. Remember this text? Here's the official statement on it. He showed up at her home, entered without permission, went to her bedroom, and texted a picture of Halle's empty bed to her, along with the text, "Now I know what you've been on, LOL." But this is the whole thing. He didn't break in. He was just dropping off Halo. On the surface, Halle looks all sweet and innocent.
I just want to tell all of you to never give up, to go after your dreams. You all are so talented, you're so beautiful, you have it in you.
Now, her true colors are being exposed. People are now thinking that because of her big Hollywood connections, her image has been protected online. Your Rage has spoken about it too. He finds it weird that everyone thinks she's an angel when she's even admitted to being mean online.
Bro, she be telling y'all. She tells you that she's not. She be saying, "I know I look like a nice girl all the time and shit, but like that's really my sister. I'm really like the crazy one. Like I'm actually fucking." She be telling y'all. She be telling her own fans that I'm crazy.
Rage is right. She literally says stuff like that on numerous occasions.
In a relationship, I think I have anxious attachment style. Everybody knows I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign. I get very passionate. I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything.
So does that mean DDG is innocent? Nah, it doesn't. But his friends even said that he's not the type of guy that would ever hit on a girl. But one time, he was close. You may have heard of his ex, Ruby Rose. Their relationship was super toxic. But when she attacked DDG for cheating and broke his $100,000 chain, he saw red. Here's Zayas telling the story.
She grabbed this nigga big ass chain, bro. Yeah! And threw that bitch across the living room. I looked at DDG eyes, bro. That nigga pupils was dilated, bro. That nigga saw nothing but red. When I say, bro.
But even in the middle of all that rage, he didn't lay a hand on her.
He stand up. Ain't no telling what he was gonna do. I know DDG. That's not him. That's not his body. He would never dare, like, you know, do anything like that.
Yeah, right.
So if he didn't hit Ruby, then it's unlikely he would resort to violence against Halle, the mother of his child. From his fans' perspective, they've been watching DDG for the past 10 years. They've seen this guy grow up, seen how he treats his mother and other women. He's just not the guy who would ever hurt a woman. DDG's actually quite a caring guy. Here's his own brother speaking on a time when DDG called him asking for advice about how he can see his son.
Me and my brother had normal conversations, and then he'll hear woo up in the background. He'll call me and be like, "Bro, man, I know Brittany don't like you, man. I know she like probably hates you, bro, but What do you do to get woo up every day?
He's getting pretty emotional as he tells the story. It's so serious that now his mother is also getting involved. She's decided to speak up and defend DDG. She's apparently going live soon to reveal the truth and clear his name. This is basically an all-out war. DDG and his people are fighting for his innocence and his right to see his son. But they're against Halle, who's a Hollywood star and at this moment in time has the courts on her side. A lot of people believe her story, and it might be because of who she has backing her. The more sinister, deeper conspiracy is that the Illuminati, aka Hollywood, is helping her destroy DDG. I know that sounds dramatic, but check out what people are saying. I'm sure you'll be surprised.
I think Halle's part of the Illuminati. Real shit. You ask me.
Apparently, DDG kept it real. He didn't sell his soul, and now they're after him.
And that's what I'm saying. DD didn't sell his soul, so now they're trying to get him. I don't care, bro.
It's getting serious. The Shade even called out Jay-Z, who has been heavily linked to covering up some well-known cases. I'm sure you can guess which ones.
But I don't give a f, bro. If the CIA niggas come to my door, then they come knocking on my fucking door. It is what it is, bro. I'm DDG squad, bro.
DDG's lucky to have such loyal friends, and it kind of proves he's such a good guy, since so many people are willing to sacrifice their reputations for him. But the conspiracy runs even deeper. People are saying that it's all about destroying DDG now that he's at the top of his game because he didn't sell his soul.
Notice that they got DDG when he was at his highest. My nigga just dropped that album, did all type of collab.
You gotta admit, the timing is strange. Why now? Especially since what she's accusing him of apparently started back in January.
They waited for my nigga to be at the top of his career right now. All type of collabs, everything going. And then y'all hit him with a, he's beating up Halle now?
Another investigator found out something else, and now the whole Jay-Z Illuminati conspiracy makes even more sense. Halle is signed to Jay-Z's label Roc Nation, which came after Rockefeller Records, named after John Rockefeller, a guy who a lot of people connect with the Illuminati. Anyway, this fan noticed this. Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, and now DDG all have serious allegations from women signed to Roc Nation. If that's true, this might not be a war DDG can win. But in the middle of all this, he came on stream to address the situation, but he looked exhausted.
I don't really know where to go with this live, to be honest. You know, it's just a lot of, it's just a bunch of nosy people in here.
I feel for him, but in some ways he may be innocent in this case, but he's no angel either.
Hey, yo, I know Sneeko since back in the day when he had 2,000 subscribers. He'd tell y'all. I know Sneeko since back in the day, man, when he was making cinematic vlogs, and I used to tell him all the time I fuck with his content. So shout out Sneeko, man.
Some see him being friends with people like Sneeko doesn't help the situation. And you know, Sneeko is now associated with Kanye, who won't stop talking about the evil dude from Germany. Besides that, DDG has a long list of beefs, including ex-girlfriends. Back in 2017, he started dating Kennedy Simone, a huge YouTuber. She was way bigger than him back then. They even got engaged in 2018, but it didn't last long. Their relationship went downhill fast and ended with fights, emotional videos, and loads of arguing. Then there was the Fresh and Fit situation. DDG went on their show back in the day, which was known for being harsh to women. But then, all of a sudden, they had beef.
Myron, you're ass, you're weak. And then you get online, you talk all this crazy shit, and you wonder why the fuck Fresh and Fit fell off. No one's going on your podcast no more.
But now in the middle of all this, Myron is supporting DDG.
DDG TMZ, I talked about that. I make fun of DDG all the time. I think he's stupid. I think he's low IQ, but I don't think he's over here beating on his chick. And if he is, that's some.
Yeah, he doesn't give
but,
vibes.
But he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't give me woman beater vibes, bro. To be honest with y'all.
But probably not the guy he wants defending him. And of course, there was this toxic relationship with Ruby Rose. It was known to be full of all kinds of trouble, and although he didn't hit her, you got to ask yourself why he keeps getting himself into these situations. There are so many incidents of people turning against DDG and people having beef with him. For now though, he's got his friends, his family, and his fans on his side. And with all the evidence in his favor, I think he's got a good chance of beating this case. But whatever happens, we'll find out on June 6th. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe and check out my other stuff.